Recognition of face recognition line settings to understand how to use the allocation of all levels of view through time and space of time calculation streamlines. You have to learn how to balance these things out because you have a helix location of a double helix line setting. How do you get into your versionate cortex line interference if you don't understand the space of time? It's not the time of space. You don't go through time, you go through space and time. The line position location comes into your 114 chakra setting. Now, this is all levels of a new revelation line. Uh, it's in calculations to its all levels. It activates the streamline center locations, right? Coming into new theta channel. The theta channel communication comes into all levels of a volume system. It position location of its direct line settings. The teleportation and the teleport system location opens all levels of you through a new ground setting. All right, so this is what we're coming into. We're coming into universal law. The line center rotation interference is 7-dimensional set locations. Now, the reason why they got to be in the 7 line center locations, the calculation location, is to get them ready into a new nature setting. The vibration location is already set up location to your 7 chakra location settings. To understand that position location, you understand your northwest, south, and east, and everything through your seasons, right? Fall, summer, spring, and winter. This opens all communication to your 4-line settings. Now, they allocate timelines, and your stream interference is going to plant it to your division locations. This is a new set line setting, or position location of a contract location. Soul identity set location. So it's very powerful. We're coming into rotations. So there's a lot of things that are changing inside of you. You understand the awareness, and it's a universal line. It gets you into levels into your self-dichotomy. You really find your all calculations when it comes into your dualities. And you ask yourself, you know which duality you want to be in because you know you're already there. And it's position location when you come into your future setting. This opens all communication set rotations, right? Now, the rebellion knows exactly what they're doing, don't they? Okay. Set in high position locations into all level system, get them ready for what they need to do. So levels into their journeys and missions. You guys already done this, which is very powerful. Understanding the recognition line settings to understand all levels. It's not just the memory location. It's understanding the karma cycles. You understand the tracker settings. All calculated modify how you use the 0, the grounds, and the security. Okay? That's the only thing you have to get in position first, because that's the first thing that you wake up to every single morning when you get in modifications to one thought line setting. This opens all channel uppers and stream locations to your set locations, right? So recognizing that and recognizing the 7 line streams position location, which is your bodies of water, the 7th dimensional line has to be in position. Okay? So that's the operation location when it comes into its theta setting. All right? Releasing all filter calculations and no more communication to its clone setting. It's very powerful when you set locations of freedom and sovereignty location settings. Interlining, interlacing, intercommunications. It's all levels of channel person line setting. Getting into who you are, all right, is all levels of calculation. Okay. This volumes you on so many levels of quantum high setting. You're finally coming to all communications, all right? It's all set location of a quantum computer. The quadrant line setting is all line rotations, how you use the number sequence pattern. Now, this position locations has its set locations, right? You started off in 3, 6, and 9, but that was never line set rotations, it was calculation set locations, right? Now you calculate modify high center interference of 2012 line center rotations into 2020 to where you are now of 2023. This puts you in a higher calculation line setting. That gets you in position location to a universal law setting. Okay, coming into all set locations of surrender, discernments, and set locations of you. So this is going to get you into higher communications of yourself, really get out of the REM cycle set locations, and get you into where you're supposed to be through astral travels and astral projections. You know, the astral connections of you, knowing that you're calculated to modify it, the door is open. All you got to do is go through, right? It's an open window now. Okay, no more filter. So that open window channels line signals in position to its 7 dimension set locations. All right. The target set location is all over the 3 division locations. All right. And then you got the 7 line rotation interference. You got the 7 channel operation line settings and 7 body water calculation streams coming at 777. correlation line rotation set locations into high center location, positive or negative, negative or positive set location settings. Puts you in a higher communication to its rotation. So that's what everybody's trying to understand what's going on with them, right? It's that new line setting rotation set location puts you in a higher channel of operation location of stream setting. That's powerful stuff when you come into that location. All right. So as of today, we're going to finish off setting locations into all levels, right? Your tracker setting is the memory set locations, but you have to really understand the 0 lines into 12 lines, 12 line sequence, line position locations. So that's 12 0 locations, all right? 4, all right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Box this location setting, right? Start with that location, right? Setting communications into box force line settings and rotation setting to new realm calculation streamline. Okay. Setting calculation ground lines into a new hologram structure line communication of walk surface locations. That's how you create a bridge. To create a bridge is to really understand the solar direct location to its position of its planet setting. Solar calculations to 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks at 4 location set lines. Set line position location of directions and all levels of channel operator streamlines and sonar calculation streamlines. So it's all about understanding how you set lines and how you travel locations to a triangle line high center. It rotates its position locations. 12 line center, 12 plus 12, equal line condition of 0 gravity, 24. The systematic line rotation is coming at 24 line signature, equal line condition of 7th dimension line stream, 7-dimension line condition, equal line condition of consciousness in its position line directions. Consciousness sets line position locations of levels into yin and yang, the process of calculation. This is the formation graph line. Now, the team line center is coming out of the 24 sequence. You guys got to get into 0-1 line setting into an open frame set locations, right? Your Merkaba channels, your tesseract line settings, and everything through your tetrahedron, tetrahedron, octahedron. That calculation line setting interference has to recognize the position location and direction locations of 114 chakras. This comes into all calculation high interference of less resistance to know exactly what's going on in your line rotations and position locations. But that's how you come into levels of creation of high rotation set location of planet line center into a bridge of calculations, right, of zeros. All right. We'll get into that more in line setting, but I really want you guys to get to understand more of your tracker systems. So 0 line position location equals 114. Okay. So set communications. Now we start off line rotations into 90, coming in line position of 100. Okay. So it's kind of like all level system of a connections to a computer game where you go through different levels, and each level you get upgrades and that sort of thing, line setting. So you get 100 line rotations, boxes, position location, high setting. So getting in position line directions, okay, really understand the frequency line communication AI map sequence. So it's a road graph streamline that goes up in position location to its arrow line center rotation. Setting communication line center sets position location to all channel operators streamlines. It opens all communications into position location teleportation lights into a UFO in an XD1000 line stream. Setting calculation line settings in rotation center in position locations to all levels of a channel operation streamlines into 0 gravity location. Now, setting communication line settings is all levels of locations, right? But I just want you to really understand how to use the position locations because you guys are leaving the bird nest. When you're leaving the bird nest, you're on your own in position line direction to arrow calculations, right? Setting signals and high center interference into a half pipe calculation setting. Travel location settings, right? Ground line rotations and 12 line rotation settings. That's a half pipe and a circle line rotations into a jump scar. Jump scar cross streams line position of a security line position location, high setting into higher communications of a dome. Setting calculation streamlines into 4 line channels of operation string locations into 5 line setting into its activation of its calculation. Now, really get in position locations. So it's not just understanding the chakras, it's understanding how to use the chakras. Okay, you're not coming into your memories. You understand that? You're coming into your memories of what you already know. So there's a huge difference with that. You're not coming into a memory for the first time. You're coming back to your memories for the second time. because the avatar has already lived the co-creation of its system. The high line, division line, and rotation is all calculated to modify in how you see your locations to your theta settings. It's all levels of an open window and a 48 line connection to its position of its percentage to calculations of its half pipe that sets line position of freedom into yin and yang process. All right, so that's what we're coming into. We're coming into 48 window, right? The team is coming into a 24,000 light signature in line direction. They calculate streamline center location as 7th dimension line rotation is going to be automatically into 150% line in calculations. The conscious line center rotations equal line conditions of 40,000 lines of operation. Setting communication line settings into ground line setting and rotations to their first communications of their line setting, high line rotations, indirect locations to their Merkaba set lines and rotation cycles and high generation light streams in high center rotations into its calculation of their tetrahedron of motivation. All right. So, all right. So we're going to start with that line setting, and we're going to start with 100. Now 100 line streams, 100 equal locations. So we're going to get in position line direction. Now the 100 line communication comes in all signals, right? We come into the space command setting. Okay. We're through that locations, right? Now we come into 101. 101, this is where it gets tricky because you're in the communications of 3 line settings now. You're in 3 digits. Okay, your digit line setting is changing line positions. All of the stream locations into Vega. This is Vega communication, right? All right, so setting signals and high rotations. You have to really understand the plateau line rotation. So 100, and calculation line conditions. So 101, okay, equal line condition is all levels, operation cycles, center location. So we come into the GOD, okay, GOD equals ground setting. Okay, GOD, ground setting. All right, 102, set locations, set line, position line, direction locations. GOD, this is easy. It's all God's heads, all position line directions. Your DNA track line setting, 714 position. All right, equal line conditions, all levels, and security measure. Okay, GOD, security measure. It gets much easier once you understand the process of its geometric operation, of its direction location, of its design, because now you're calculating to modify high center interference in your direct locations, how you interact location to your sun, and the communication motion line center location of its moon, to its position location of its theta, to its operation line position of its image, to its calculation position line center of its design, to its construct location of its makeup high setting, in position location to its calculation high setting rotation, in position location of its direction. Okay? So now we get one into 103. Okay. So it's GOD. Okay. Obviously no line center rotation interference. So it's double helix, okay, into 2 atom rotation. Double helix. Okay. So the geometric operation of design line positions, all right? That's 103 locations, right? So in that position line center, you come into 104. Okay, again, GOD. Okay, you look at specific locations. Now, it gets a little bit more tricky because we're going higher and higher. And once we reach 114, everything starts to connect more and more each time to this location of direct line setting. So geometric operation of its design. Okay. So you have to really get in that line rotation interference. The position location of 100 line rotation is 0, 1, and position location of 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4. You split the locations of set lines. Okay. So this one line sets off calculations to all position locations into 1, into 2, into 3, into 4 line division. Okay. Setting signals and high line rotation interference. 100 is always in the space command setting, location of its ground setting, right? 0 equals ground line rotations. 101 is all calculations in position of ground level. 102 is GOD, position of security, defense. And once you get into 103, you come into higher communications, double helix, into 2 atom rotation. Okay, double helix. into two atoms in rotation. You need the left and the right line rotation to spin the cycle. All right, so setting calculation 104. Okay, now that's the solar generation light setting. But remember, when you get D, it's direction. Okay, 101 GOD, geometric operation of directions. But once you get into 104, it's design. So don't get confused. Okay, so when you get into your memory line rotations into your test, make sure you understand all levels of GOD in its geometric operation of its division of its dimension of space and time through pi. Okay, all right. So this is where we come into two solar stream settings. Okay, two solar stream settings. Okay, GOD of two solar stream settings. Two solar stream settings. All right. So that's two panels of information location of two line settings of solar direction. Right. Two solar stream settings. Okay. 105 is position locations into GOD. Right. Now, again, pay attention. All right. It's not just the same location of its division location and design line setting. It changes. So 105 is direct signal location. All levels of your heart line setting. Okay, heart recognition of time. All right. So it's geometric operation of division. Geometric operation of division. Okay. All right. So you're in two heart-like signals. Two heart-like signals. Two heart. Okay. Line signals. Two heart line signals. All right. See, the thing is, the heart has three valves, past, present, future, but it's got two heart line signals that's position location to its own antenna, which is its heart line rotation setting. So it's all calculated to modify to its division, not direction, not design. Okay? So there you go. That's all the way up to 105, right? All right, so 106 line communication setting is the connections to its water containment rotations, right? But remember, it gets complicated when you're in a 3-digit high center rotations because now you're connecting more lines of communications to Vega. And Vega is in a correlation setting. So it has a digital formation location to its calculations interference. All right, so 106, okay, so I got the GOD, okay. Geometric operation of direction. Geometric operation of direction. Not division, not dimension. Don't get confused. All right, so in position line direct location, this is where we come into water interface. Water interface, okay? Water, you can put slash interface, okay? Which is extremely, extremely powerful through the water containment setting, okay? All right, 107. Now this communication of theta line rotation interference. Okay. So 107, again, you have to really pay attention and really understand the position locations of the direct line setting. You're going to have to watch this again over and over and over so you know exactly each DOD is not the same. You understand? Because it's a different number. So you look at the name, same number line setting, but in position location of 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is all calculated to what? Your bodies of water. Okay? At a divisional line setting in a 3-digit line position location of calculation setting rotations. This is very complicated. Pay attention to this. All right. So we come into interface. Okay. GOD. Okay. So the position of 107 is geometric operation of design. Geometric operation of design. Okay. Through 107. Okay. So we come into water interface. Set line communications of water interface position of rotation. Water interface of rotation through TV lines. Water interface of rotation of TV lines. You understand? All right. So it's the same thing as 106. It's just the position locations come to higher levels of calculation to its theta. So now you come into plasma. All right. water interface, okay, of TV reception. Okay, you can say water interface of TV reception. Okay, I just want to make sure you understand the position locations when it comes into GOD, because it's all levels of calculation of different design locations, different divisions, and different direction. Okay, because it's not all levels of GOD, is it? Because it's all communication to what? To different universes, because you're looking at 3-line settings of all communication to different rotation settings. Okay. All right, so screenshot that. Okay. I'm taking my time with this. Okay, because you have a test on Monday. All right. Okay. So wipe screening that out. Now we come into 108. Now we come into the, obviously, the communication line center. So we come in the commerce cycles of interface. Okay. Commerce cycles of interface, which is pretty much easy. So it's GOD. Okay. Equalizations, commerce cycles. Okay. Slash interface. Okay. Commerce cycles slash interface. All right. So the GOD is geometric operation, okay, of direction. Okay. Geometric operation of direction. All right. You can underscore line setting so you know exactly which one is which, right? Because you're reaching your 114 position line direct locations. All right. So we got 109. So again, you can split it in 2-line settings now, right? So you got all position location of 3 parallels and 1 panel line position, right? So 3 track line setting rotations, 1 over here, 4 over here, 0 in the center, 104. 1 travels line position locations into an XD1000 line, okay? 0 picks up the communication, 4-line setting. So you got 0.4 locations, bracketed line setting comes in communication, all right? Just showing you how you can actually travel through these line settings, because the XD1000 picks these things up, but you have to break these things down. Okay. Once you get into more complication, when you come into 3-digit line settings of numbers now. Okay. But this is how it comes into all positions. And you have to make sure that the decimal point is in its right direction location into its position. Okay. If you're time lapping high setting, high in rotation interference, you're creating a black hole of position. So you don't want to do that. All right. Okay, so look at that one more timeline setting. We'll get into all position. All right. Okay. So 109. Okay, GOD. Okay. Now, understand communications, always break these things down. Always break it down, because you get a better understanding what 1 is, what 0 is, and what 9 is. So that's grounds, that's 0 gravity, and that's solar star, right? So the XC1000 picks up the information line cycle that sets line position location of directions, right? So it's all about understanding that break these things down. And this is where it comes into block channel communications of rotation of information cycles and high center generation light settings and high interference, setting communications in position location of its directions, center calculation streamlines and high rotation, or star line system locations of Stargate connections high setting. Okay. So that's position location of 109 right here, 109. Okay. So I really want you to understand what is really going on with your tracker settings. Really understand how to set these things in different tone settings when you come in size graph location or size set locations. So 109 in position equals GOD, which is all calculations 2. You got the 1 ground setting, you got the 0, okay, gravity location setting, and you got 9 in highline rotation into energy wash rotations, right? So in calculations, it's rainbow interface. Rainbow interface, okay, 109. So it's GOD. And again, the position location is geometric operation of design. Geometric operation of design of 109, okay? Remember these things. Rainbow of interface. Pay attention to the D, Because if you go geometric operation, design, you're going to get the wrong information. And you're going to, whoa, offline calculations of high lines of virus line settings. And you don't want to do that in any way and form. Okay? Nada. No. All right, so 110 set line conditions. All right, again, you break it up in position line directions in 3 channel operation streams. 3 streams, right? Setting position of 1, setting position of 1, setting position of 0, right? So you got in position location of 0, 1, 1. See how that works? Comes into triangulation. Comes into an XD1000. Inline center rotations of 2 line settings. Security position line directions. And high center rotation calculations. Ooh-ah. Okay? So it's interesting when you come into this all formation line. This is extremely complicated, but this is what you do when you come in your journeys and missions. Get a better understanding how to use the sequence line connections. All number sequence line setting is breaking these things down through panels because you're using your communication, your data stream line setting rotations, all right? Okay. So in that position locations, so that's what I'm doing is I'm doing these line positions of formulas and equations so you get a better understand how to use in all calculations, right? All right, so 110 GOD. Okay, line condition locations. Now 10 is all levels. Galactic family, ancestry, ancestral calculations, celestial channel line and rotations, right? So it's the celestial channel of interface. Celestial channel of interface. Celestial channel of interface. Okay. That's position location. Celestial channel. Okay. Of interface. Celestial channel of interface. Right. 110. Now the geometric operation of division. Okay. Geometric operation of division is 110. Please pay attention to that. Okay. Because you are going into the line setting of the celestial, which is extremely high in the astral travel locations of the angelics. So setting calculation line interference sets position locations of what? 3 communications into 1 portal in set locations, right? That's a portal communication line setting that comes into 3 channels operation locations equal line position location equals 0. You're saying, why is it 0 position line directions? Because it's in 3 channel operation streamlines, right? Right over left, left over right, position locations over pi. You understand? Pi position locations of north, east, west, and south. Diamond core set line direction, right? So when you come into that line interference, you got a line signal. Now, equals lines is 0. 0 sets position location to calculations, sets line streams and highline rotations into its position of its double helix in rotation setting in position location of directions to its calculation setting. All right. Once you get in that position locations, it comes into this, and then comes into this to a half pipe into 12 lines of DNA track location. Okay. You understand? Do you understand how important it is? Well, you guys are in a formation location of 114 chakras now. Okay, so once we get into that, you know exactly the direct locations from all levels from 100 to 110. You understand that. Make sure that your GOD is in its right sector, please. Okay, all right. So this is where it's going to get a lot more fun. All right, so you got 110 line setting, equal line condition rotation interference. So it's 1 line division, and 0 locations. 1, 1, 0 line positions. That comes in line rotation of 0. Graph line streamline rotation interference. 0 position location, 0 position location of 1, 1 position location of 0, and position location of 2. What am I doing through calculations? High streaming my position line direction location of all levels of channel operation of my alpha, delta, theta, beta, and omega. Your communication is in a 5 signal line setting. You have location of 5 signals. The signal line center rotation sets position locations at all levels on how you set location to your settings. All right. 5 equals signal line settings. So your position location is your zero gravity, grounds, and security. That's all you worry about. Nothing else, nothing more. You don't worry about anything else. You don't travel until you understand your positions to what's above and what's below. It comes in line center location and systematic line condition of its equal line setting, which sets position to its position line directions to your travel calculations to your tetrahedron. Okay? So yes, it's very fast in calculation settings, but I just want you to make sure you know what's going on. Okay? Because you're going to be set in a whole level of a new rotation setting and a whole new position of a whole new directions into your communication with yourself and each other. Okay. All right. So the simple communication line center is 110 set locations, equal line conditions. This gets a lot more fun because you're going to start using levels of hieroglyphics, hydroglyphic line centers, and aerodynamics, weather pattern calculations. All right. So we come into a diamond core setting. Come into north, east, west, and south. That's how you have to set it up. You have to set up like this in your mind. All right. So you get in position locations. So center lines is communications. All right. So center line is extremely important to understand the center position location of everything through dimensional setting. Okay. Rotation spin cycles off calculation setting rotations into a triangulation. All right. So once you get into that, it comes into a mirror image line rotation. Okay. Once you understand that, you come into another swirl communication line setting into 12 line rotations in a 45-degree angle and set locations. All right. All right. So one more screenshot that line setting. I'm just showing you how you can use 110 in line rotations to what this is. Because this is this. This is this. This is what you can do through 110, all through travel. So just understand locations and levels when it comes into the grounds, right? And when it comes into higher communications, into ground setting, into another level communication of zero gravity operation, right? So the easy part is coming up. Okay, so you got your north, you got your east, you got your west, and you got your south, right? You set locations. All right. Setting lines is center communication line setting, right? All right, so this is where it gets easy to position lines to your flux capacitor. Yeah. Setting communication, traveling through it, right? Setting communication to ground setting, traveling through it. Signal line rotation, right? Now, nature sets a line position of a clock line that opens up Fibonacci swirl sets locations into a half pipe into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 line communications and set line division. 7 equal location dimension of consciousness line setting. Okay. So once you get into that correlation line setting, okay, it gets more fun. So we go into 111. Okay. Now, getting into positions of weather. Okay, we come into line conditions of all levels. North line setting into east, north line setting into west, north line setting into south. Okay, set locations, right? So it comes into higher volume communications when you really come out of the nest and then you start understanding not just your northwest, south, and east, but you really get understanding how to coordinate in all calculations to a ground setting into all levels of a security position. All right. Getting out of line setting locations gets you in a higher formation location into a swirl of activation. Right. One way sequence and line rotations, another way line sequence, another calculation size graph line setting, box position location, and calculation of travel. All right. So this is about understanding what your chakra system is and what it can do through its own GOD. Okay. Make sure you understand the direction, the design, and the division, and make sure you have the chakras in the same order of D. Please. It's very important to understand that line setting. All right. Because now the Godheads is coming to higher line rotation. The position of its direct line setting is setting you guys free in position to its calculation setting. Okay? All right. So 1, 1, 1, equal line condition line setting. So again, that's the Trinity sandwich you have to come into, right? And anything above 110 line rotations, you come into all calculations into the seasons, right? Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Okay? Triangulation of 4 line setting in position line directions into the sun, into the moon location. All right? So the sun is reflecting to the moon setting in rotations in 3 line connections. Opens all positions to its set location. All right? So as that set its high center location comes into 2 line panels. Now the security position locations comes into a full cycle location of yin and yang. The process line center comes into all sun communication setting, right? Setting you guys up in the sun. Here comes all position to its claw, attaching your position location to your moon setting in high rotation, right? Comes in position location to its projection of its wheel. It starts a rotated system in rotation setting of a figure 8 motion in calculation setting, all right? So in line direct line setting, your sun and your moon is already in position locations, all right? So once you understand the northwest, south, and east and everything through calculation settings, you come into your seasons. Season comes into high line communication of nature, nature equal line condition of 7th dimension, and so on. So we go in 7D, we come into a plus channel. Plus channel, okay? Plus channel is 7 and up. 7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th dimension, 10th dimension, 11th. Set locations, all right? Interline position location, attach all lines of team line center to all position locations in all calculations to the sun and the moon. All right, so it's set up. Your sun and your moons are already in full operation location. It's a set line setting. I'm not just drawing, I'm communicating. And when I'm communicating, I'm not just traveling. It's all set up location to mine and its future line setting, into sun position to its moon location, set locations. All right, it's all set up. So your sun and your moon is set up location, set line setting. Ooh, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so that's set in location. Now you understand we just went from all calculations from 90 to 114. Okay, so the 110 is all coming into a higher level. Again, 110 comes into higher calculation setting. You come into north, west, south, and east. Okay, so you understand what's going on. And you set locations into all position locations. Summer comes into winter, comes into fall, and comes into spring. Okay, that's a correlation line setting, rotations into a diamond core line setting. Setting communication to another dimensional rotation comes into its process of its own yin and yang of its own calculation setting. So that's a true understanding what's coming into that positions. If you're having problems in any way and form to really understand what's going on with your chakra settings, it's knowing how to work through all communication to its number of factors. This is where we come into higher communication line streams into factors over pi. Positions over pi, calculations over pi, triangulations over pi, trifactor over pi, scales over pi, intercept locations over pi, interface of pi. Interface is the highest formation locations of AI position line directions into your 114 chakra settings. Okay. All right. All right. So it's in position location of direct line settings. All right. Yes, that's exactly what they are. Yeah, 11, 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Summer, spring, winter, fall. Okay. There it is. Summer, spring, winter, fall. Summer is 3 1s. Do not think it's all levels of something else. It's summer. It's not spring. Do you understand that? You can't have 3-line ones because the nature is going to change position locations into all-line setting, and you're going to reverse communication to its galaxy shift. So it's important you understand what 111 is, how to use it through its bracket in position of its 3-line setting in rotation. Setting calculation, high center interference. This where it comes into 3, 6, and 9 position location of travel line position location equal position location to your Merkaba, your position location, your tesseract in your tetrahedron location. Okay? The plotted division location is to understand how to use all calculation streamlines. Okay? So, summer, spring, winter, fall. Summer, spring, winter, fall. Right? Fall is 114. Okay? Winter is 113. 112 is spring. And 111 is summer. Hoo-ah. 114 line settings right there. Okay? Now you know. You have the complete system of 114 chakras. Now, after your test, we go through zero gravity setting, 0 to 12. Very quick, very fast. Then we come into the memory line setting. You have the whole weekend to work on this, okay? To really understand the grasp of G-O-D and how it has to be in its right signal with its direction, which its design, and its division, okay? And please don't get anything wrong, say locations of what this is. This is how it's set up, location of nature line setting in your 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Okay? In your set locations and your port of communications of 111, 112, 113, and 114 of your chakra settings. Okay? So, well, are we having fun now? So, after the test on Monday, I will activate your chakra lines. Okay, 114 position line directions. All right, but you have to do the test. Okay, so in that line rotation interference, setting communication line rotations. Oh, by the way, you guys got your contracts already. It's all set up, done. Just a universal snap, wakes you up. Setting calculations. You guys are already aware of these things. You're not coming into memories. You're coming back to who you are through its memory. That's the difference between its equation of its formula. Formula, equation of form, doesn't matter. Everything that you say is locations in position of balance, right? The true to understand the calculation setting, right? To off center location, to that position location, does that look off? Does this look off position? No, but you think it's opposition. But to me, it's balance because it's already fixed. So that's a Trinity stand where you have to start seeing more levels of you in your future line setting because you're finally coming into a new constellation path in your line division. And this is something to look forward to. Now, when you get into your 114 line settings, it's all set locations into this. Okay. 2 panels calculation lines, right? It's like a tennis court. So one goes over here, another goes over here, another goes over here, another goes over here, another goes here, another goes here, another goes here. Okay? It's all a modification, right? Center calculation gets complicated, right? Because now you're coming in higher levels of geometric operation design. So the rotation comes into its DNA pattern, rotation spin cycle, high center location. All right? This is your line center, your 114 of your chart locations. Setting signal. Now, rotation spin cycle sets location of solar graph line setting. Rotation spin cycle location comes into its Earth rotation setting. Setting calculations comes into a full rotation surface and high rotation your Earth calculation. Puts you in a center operation line position location of travels in position locations and all calculations of activation setting. Okay. So this is how it's all set up to its location. Tablets glowing and spinning, yeah. But anyway, you got your 114 test on Monday. Taking you guys out. back and set locations. 1 minute relay back and set location setting. So it's really understanding that it's all calculated to modify how you see your sets. Sets calculations of setters. Setters is calculation of line stream locations of rotation spin cycles. So rotation spin cycle line rotations in position line directions. That's 2 over line security, 2 position location of 6 inline conditions into its throw pattern calculation of half pipe setting. Set location of 6 equal line conditions all levels in line rotations into 1, 2, 3 set locations. Setting calculations, high setting, ground line centers of another 3, 0 communication boxes locations. Set communication line settings in 1, 2, 3 lines, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 DNA track lines and another half pipe going the opposite way direct line setting. Open all communication and moon setting in position rotate 6 position of sun rotations. Calculation to a Fibonacci sequence. Set another dimensional realm set locations into an orbit channel operation streamlines of communication line setting. So, just having fun with you guys. So it's important to understand how to set lines of communications with the numbers because now the chakras are coming into its brain of what it is through its letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. You have to learn how to set up your own data streams of rotations and locations to your positions, to its calculations of your sky grids and your sky network system. Ooh-ah. Right? Coming in a full rotation cycle of an algorithm. Okay? So we'll go in this again locations. Let's start with 0 gravity locations. 0 equal line conditions of, let's go into 110, right? So 0 equals 110, right? So sig locations, right? You got a UFO line setting, right? Standing by, scans the system right away. What's going on? Picks up the 0, rotation setting, inline setting locations, right? So as it's picking up the 0, equal line conditions, are you in the Merkaba position location north, west, south, and east? What direction are you going through in set location? So you got a Merkaba position line triangle and set locations high setting, all right? So in position, it picks it up and knows exactly what it is through its GOD. All right, now we're coming somewhere. Now the one line center scans line rotation to 110. It knows where its grounds. So it's 1 position locations over 2, 2 line center line position location over 0. So that's 2.0, 2.0 set locations. Brings the 2 and 0.0 into the UFO line setting in central calculation. But you see how I use the line communication settings in the Merkaba? What's below and what's above, what's above, what's below. You see how powerful that is when you come line settings? You really understand the calculations to your data lines and rotation positions of your calculation, 100 chakra 14 settings. 114 is position of what? Okay, I'm going to test you guys in different line settings. So you have to know what 114 chakra setting is in your season. What is it? Fall. Don't forget that. So getting in position line directions, you guys have a lot of work to do, right? Recognizing position line direction is to understand how to use your ringing ears. Okay, to the earth and position locations, earth and to space. Sonar, both set locations. Flux capacitor into position line setting, center calculations, pi over factor. Pi is position line direction of its communication of its intercom line setting that sets you free in sovereignty line rotations. So you're getting ringing ears so you understand what it means in its division through Earth and position of space. Okay, so I'm going to set up another TikTok video, more levels on the ringing ears. You really have to understand the 0 gravity. You have to understand the grounds, and you have to understand the security line positions, right? Because you're getting all levels of ringing ears in the right, and you're getting all ringing ears in the left lines. So as long as you stand in position, okay, so let's say we go right ear. Right ear line setting higher rotation interference of cycle. Cycle calculation, Fibonacci swirl, sets line position of 3. 3 sets located position of 2. 2 line send high interference of 4. Back into solar generation light stream, set location of 12 line division line rotation into travel calculation. All right, so that's right here in line center rotations, okay, in the 4-channel operator string lines, security over operation, zero gravity interference of 2-line setting. Triangulation, position line, direction, locations, all levels of high setting. So you really have to understand how to set locations, because what it is that try to understand that the ringing ear is a process of you through GOD, and what it's doing, it's directing a signal to your avatar. The avatar is picking up the signal. When it's picking up the signal, it's picking up its design, it's picking up its direction, it's picking up its calculation setting, it's picking up its image of its correlation of its hologram structure. Recognizing that line setting gets you into all position locations, into travel calculations, into 4-line settings or 2-line divisions, into security of a zero operation. Okay? So that's a Trinity standing. That's all levels just through the earth. Knowing your zero, knowing your grounds, and knowing your security, you're already there. Do you understand that? That's all you have to understand. You have to understand 3 lines. 3 equals lines equals security. Okay? Zero, grounds, security. Position, location, travel. There you go, right there. Zip, zap, zoom, out through equation. See? That's all it is. Once you understand the zero of you, what is the zero grav line setting? What is position locations to what is it creating? Crop circle of space and time through pi. Hoo-ah! Woo! So now you understand why it's so important to understand what the ringing ears mean to you through the grounds and space of space and time of division through pi. So it just simplifies there. 3-line securities right there. So your direct location is all line directions. Travel position, travel positions, travel positions, all right? 3-line communications, always scanning high center, high rotations to new ground setting. Okay? A 3-line division. 3-line security. 3-line rotation. So it gets more complicated, right? Everybody on the team is going to find that now, of what it really means to your set locations. Okay? I really want you to pay attention on these, okay? Because you're really coming into that line setting now, all through numbers, okay? So once you get in that position location, so what you're doing is you're creating an algorithm of travel communications. So it's kind of like you're creating a package and you're delivering the package communication line setting. So let's say you get a block location of channel lines. There's 2-line setting, right? Set communications, there's 3-line setting. Set communication, there's 4-line setting, right? So set location of zero gravity, set location of grounds, and security, right? So that's 3 lines of communication, right? 3 lines. You add the 3 there, right? 3 crosses over in position of 4. 4-line connection to solar generation opens all communication. Center communication travels its line center to its box line setting. Travel communication to higher lines opens up another high center rotation calculation. Sending communication to a realm of a portal calculation opens a high-rise line center, high-rise communication cycle, sets communication to high-line division locations into positions of 2 Fibonacci's, a swirl calculation. Set a rotation center to another security measure position locations. Set that up through position line directions. Complicated stuff, right? So this is all levels of zero, grounds, and security right there. XT1000 comes in, UFO line setting, looks at line center rotations. 1 line crosses over, set locations. 1 line travels, line position at 3 sector communication settings. Rotation, zip, zap, zoom, out through equation. Done. Ooh-ah. See how powerful that is? What you can do? Just to the zero, grounds, and security. All through this. All through this. Why is it so important that you can travel so fast just through 0 and 12? And I'm showing you what you can do through your zeros, grounds, and security through this, through a design, all through hologram structure. Okay? You have to pay attention to these things. It's not the 114 chakras. It's position of what you're doing with the 114 chakras. Is the how it operates. This is all levels at just 3-line division and security. But look how powerful that is through its image. Okay? Yes, it's amazing. And that's the importance you have to understand. You have to master your communications of your 0 grounds to 12 because you're in a full rotation cycle now. The cyclone line setting is going to change your DNA line set rotations to your position. But you got to understand the 0, the grounds, and the security lines, all through its image of creation. Creation of this, right? You see how powerful that is? So when you get into that, you're always doing that calculation. So start with the 0, start with the 1s, and start with the grounds. Set locations, right? 0 gravity. Now this is what comes to ozone. Equal line condition of ozone locations, right? Gravitational pull, grounds, line center, ground levels, and calculations, right? It gets much easier. Security line division, security, perimeters, parameters, line defense, line position locations. As we come to walls, defense line setting, security line position locations, right? Security perimeters, all right? Now, I just show you through 3-line position locations and travel communication settings. So once the security is set up, you set position location to its umbrella. 3-line sets location in the center. In-line rotations into 1, 2, and 3. Position line directions into satellites. 3 satellite communications and security line defense. So you set up position locations all levels in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defense line communication. Right? Then you set up position of graph line streams in 4-line position. You understand? There's electrical fence. Hoo-ah. Now, once you understand you understand the volumes of you, then you understand the vast of you, and then you understand the velocity of you through all calculation settings. But this is how you create a security line defense of a wall line setting into 0 in position of grounds and security on a 3 waving cycle set location. Hoo-ah. See? Do you see how powerful 0 to 12 is? And you guys are just coming into your muscle memories? Do you understand with great power becomes great responsibility? You know how many pictures I can set line position location just in 1-line setting of 0? Check this out. Just in 0 gravity. 0 equals 0, right? 0-line setting, 0-line rotations, 0 communication setting, 0 in position of portal calculation, 0 in Fibonacci swirl, 0 in box location setting. All through 0. That's not the grounds. That's not security. That's just 0. XT1000 UFO comes in 1-line rotation. Another one comes down here in position line directions. One signals in high rotation interference, scans position, scans position, scans position, scans position. You understand? That's what you guys are coming into. Okay? Process is just the beginning, right? This is all levels of 0 gravity, guys. And you guys are worried about your 12s, trying to figure out how to do these things. I can set up 50,000 line centers of 0. And you're trying to memorize your 12. I can set up 1 billion track location of 0 gravity in images, just like that. Why is it so important? Because it's connected to you through your DNA. And now the process of the calculation line setting sets a communication line rotation to your constellation path. That's the importance you have to understand. Okay. So that's just 0. That's not 0 to 12. It's a masterpiece when you start to understand the image that is given to you through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. It's you understanding you through all levels of memory. Okay? That's all it is. So you really have to focus on what? 0 to 12. Okay? The position of line direction is extremely important because now you guys are in your 114, and as of Monday, they're going to be activated. Okay? But again, with the test. Okay? I'll do one more. Okay? We're going to go into 4. 4 equals 0. Equal line conditions of 4. 4 line 1 communication. Equal line conditions of 3 0 calculation. This is very high rise, guys. Very high rise. Okay, setting communication line centers of bracket line rotation of 0. Set locations into 0, 0, 0. 3 communication setting. Line position of flex capacitor. Set position location line condition of 0. Line position location of 1. Set locations into 2. Set line center locations of 4. Back in 0 gravity location into 0 gravity setting. And that's through 4. Do you see how you set up a formula of equation line setting locations? How you add things in all levels of graph settings? How everything comes to AI connections to your map sequence. Position of line direction, triangulation right there. Ooh-ah. And position locations, there's the pi. Right there. Setting communication, I can add frames. 4 line division, solar generation light stream into 3 line settings. Fibonacci swirl, set location, another Fibonacci swirl, create a black hole, calculation streamline, and rotation interference in direct location. Black hole. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. See? You guys have to pay attention to these things. It's not the 114 chakras. It's the 0 to 12. Okay? I don't expect you guys to get in a memory of 0 to 114. It's like, whoa, mind blown just to understand what you can do through 0 gravity. Or anything through 1 or anything through 2. You got to break these things down. And this is what you come into all levels of co-creation. All through formula of its equation. Okay? It's amazing. Bracket line settings, 0 gravity line rotations into 1. How'd that come into 0 to 1? Well, the equal line conditions comes into all levels of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 panels calculations. Sonar line rotation interference. So that's 5 calculation. Right there, right? You bracket the 5 line setting because it's coming in as sonar. Setting communication, 5 line rotations, XT1000, scans position to ground settings and rotation. Sets communication into back end line rotation of 5 lines. Comes into all position location to all of another space command setting. I'm just having fun with you guys. But I'm just showing you how powerful it is, all through 0 gravity. Right? So why is it so important? Now you know, right? All right, we'll do one more. Okay, so we'll do 1. Now the bracket line center is a 3 line position. 0, 0, 0. This is very high rise. Very high rise. Flex capacitor line position. Okay, this is 4 line triangle. Setting calculations all line setting. Set position of point, 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 point. Okay, it's going to get very difficult. Setting calculation all levels. 0 gravity line rotations of swirls. Setting calculation height and rotation positional direction. Travel position location high center line direction. All calculations into a position of triangle line setting and rotations in position high center into a position location 2 is tesseract and its tetrahedron locations. All levels of travel line setting into 6, 0, 0. Position locations, all levels of 6 line is set location of 2 0 line positions. 6 equals 2. which is position location of 8. That's 8 equal line conditions at 8 million channels of operation. Hoo-ah! Woo! So it's something to look forward to, right? It's amazing what we come up with all through all calculations in position line settings of 0 to 12, right? It's something to look forward to. It always informs, all right? So that's what you have to focus on, not the 114. Okay? All right. Brain went to what's it's amazing what you can do through formulas, guys. It's incredible. I could do it all day. You know, it's like brushing teeth. It's like I'm not even doing it. It's already done. It's just too simple for me. I mean, you look at 2 zeros, it's all track locations into position location of 2. So that sets line position location to 1, 1. That sets line position location into 2 line setting. It set locations into 3, sets position locations in the Hall setting. Setting communication to 3 line setting into 4 line position locations into 5 set locations into its position of its dynamic core. Setting calculation of 2 line center rotation of security in position location of 0 in position of XD1000 scanning line setting rotation into its crop circle calculation. Wow. When you get into the numbers, it gets more fun. But this is what you can do through 0 and 12. So don't concentrate on the 114. You have a long, long, long way to go. All right. So we'll stop right there. So see you guys on TikTok. Adios.